Very good morning from Tianjin. The stage is set. As you can see behind me is the big hall where this entire Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit is going to kick off in a few hours. This is where the big function in the evening is going to take place here in Tianjin. But more importantly, before that, we're going to have, of course, a meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping. A very important conversation there. The Indian tricolor is right next to the Chinese flag on this flagpole, and that sort of sends a big message out. The first headline from the China's People Daily is also about how President Xi Jinping is meeting with today the top leaders of the SCO, in particular Prime Minister Modi. Remember, the presence of India at the SCO is extremely critical. It lends a huge amount of credibility to the SCO because India is probably the only fully functional democracy, a democracy which is vibrant, a democracy where freedom of expression is not curtailed, a democracy where the people have the ultimate say. That is not quite true of most of the other states in the SCO, even though they might have pretensions of being functional democracies. So the meeting with Prime Minister Modi is extremely important to send a message that Xi wants to the rest of the world that his position in the world is extremely robust. It's not isolated, that he is still part of a global order that recognizes, in fact, the legitimacy of China, and of course, a very important signal to the West as far as China is concerned, that the Chinese have a stake still in global affairs despite the tantrums of President Trump in Washington. But fundamentally for India, the takeaways are several. And the Chinese media, as you can see behind me, has been focusing on some of those takeaways. For India, it is important to also, of course, assert its own strategic as well as economic sovereignty at a time when Washington wants to constrict India, wants to force India into choosing camps and taking sides. And of course, there is the overhang of the tariff war. You can call it a war or you can call it difference, but the fact is that overhang is also giving impetus to India's diplomatic outreach, which is going to, of course, peak here tomorrow. But fundamentally, we will have, before that, preceding that, this meeting with President Xi, where the Prime Minister is going to make a strong case for economic cooperation. He's also going to make a strong case for China to perhaps observe India's red lines on security issues, issues of territorial integrity. The Prime Minister setting the tone already in Japan. His meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister ended in the Prime Minister commenting about the state of affairs in the East China Sea, where the Prime Minister said that the Chinese also need to respect Japan's territorial integrity and those of its neighbors. A very important statement because it sort of sets up the tone of the conversation and where India really wants to situate that conversation, locate that conversation. So with my VJ, Ravinder, this is Rahul Shivshankar reporting from Tianjin outside this grand hall where this momentous, perhaps the first in recent memory, momentous SCO meeting is going to kick off, preceded, of course, by that all-important bilateral, which is going to begin in just a few hours.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.